Road board one too. That's a good one. Oh, highway. That is so dope. Yeah, I'm gonna wear that one too. Ooh, green screens. They got a good one too. Yeah, love them. Oh man, the text locate one. That is just fire. All right, I think I'm ready. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Standing Out, a show about sales, marketing, and leadership. I'm Trig Riggs, your host. So glad to have you with us today. Before we get started today, first of all, make sure you visit our new website, betaconsultinggroup.com. We've got more services, more offerings to help you tell your story to the marketplace, and we would love to work with you. Click on that button that says to schedule a call with yours truly. Tell us your story, and we will help you write yours. Also, want to give a shout out to our sponsor, SPI Logistics. Listen, if you're a freight broker or maybe an agent and just tired of the back office, you want more support, you want a better team to work with, make sure you check them out at success.spi3pl.com. They've got the technology, systems, and back office support to help you succeed, and they're just great people out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Again, check them out at success.spi3pl.com. All right, I'm very excited about our guest today. He's got a great background, a great career. You're going to love hearing from him on the show. So let's go ahead and bring him on to the show. We got to do a voiceover for him as well. Here we go. 6'5", power forward from DeVry University, number 34, Stephan Mathis.
Love that. Love the intro. Thanks for having me, Trey.
Just a little growl, right? Because, you know, the Bulls announcer had that famous growl whenever he would do that.
From Chicago.
From North
Carolina. Yeah. The Derrick Rose.
Man, so good, man. So good. How you doing, my friend? Good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm feeling good. I feel the vibes already. This is going to be a good podcast.
Man, you've already had like an incredible career, man. We're going to talk about that. We're going to dig in just a little bit and get into that a little bit. But before we do that, a couple of things. First of all, tell everybody just a little bit about yourself, and then I got a really important question for you.
Great. Well, thanks for having me. I'm 36, have 2 kids, currently live in Zionsville, Indiana. I'll tell you a little story how I landed here, but from Chicago. When I say that, some people say Chicagoland is Chicago. So I was born in the north suburbs, or raised in the north suburbs of Chicagoland, and then moved down to the city and spent the last probably 12 years in the city. But spent the last 13 years in the logistics brokerage space. I got my start at Coyote Logistics, like a lot of people did, young, fresh out of college, just wanted that hustle culture and the vibes that they had. And then, spent the last 6.5 years building Molo and watching it scale from a baby company up to getting acquired by ArcBest. And that's kind of my background.
It's been quite a ride, man. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But the question I have to ask you, the really important question is, are you a coffee drinker or a water drinker? We're going to send you one of these to be on the show today. What would you like?
Man, I'm both, but I would go water because, like,
you know what,
you got to drink more. I think we're not walking around hydrated enough in this world.
I'm sending you both, my friend. We're gonna send you both. Do you want a black water bottle or a white water bottle to go with it? What do you want? We got 2 options here. The black
Let's go black. Let's go black.
Yeah, black one's kind of all right. We're sending both to you, my friend. Appreciate you being on the show and being with us today. All right, so a little fun fact. Your journey to logistics started. You actually started as a valet at a country club in north suburbs of LA. I love those kind of jobs, man. What'd you learn from that experience?
Hands down, that was probably my favorite job I've ever had. But what I learned at the country club, honestly, was to dream, to be able to see people ahead of you in life that it's capable of, if you put your head down and work, that like you can build a better life for yourself. When I worked at the country club, I was like blown away with like worlds and different perspectives and people that were like achieving success that I had never seen before. I came from a really humble background. No, we didn't have any wealth. We, parents lived paycheck to paycheck. So getting the job at one, being the face of a country club, when the cars pull up, you get to meet and shake hands with successful people. I fed off of that energy of like, there's something to this. And then the other thing too is like being the first impression at the club was kind of like a little bit of a swaggy feel. Like the valet was the place to work at the club. So I learned so much there, taking care of customers, customer service, having energy, being able to connect and network with people. And yeah, just took it all. And that had a huge impact on kind of what I saw, my vision of the world and what I saw for myself and what I was going to chase after, for sure.
Yeah, those kind of jobs are pivotal moments. I've got a couple of those in my life as well. And I love what you said about vision. Like they gave you a vision for what could be, something to think about, something to kind of hold on to anchor yourself to work really hard and be reminded that it's possible that you could, have that kind of life if you wanted it someday. And again, those jobs, it's like they're minimum wage. Usually you don't make a lot of money, but it's what it does for your character and for the vision of your life that's so powerful. So, man, I love that. And you grew up playing basketball. You were an athlete, you played football as well. Sports probably taught you a lot as well, being a part of a team. What was that experience like?
Love sports, big team player guy. I never was the star on the team who got all the accolades, but I was the kind of hard hat lunch pail guy that got grimy and got aggressive and got the job done. I played football, basketball, baseball growing up, little league, all the way through high school. But really I think my basketball career was the one that came out of left field. I wasn't originally very good at the game, but I just played pickup ball all the time at the rec center. And that there's actually a funny story about that. So I played I played football, I played baseball in high school. And my senior year, going into my senior year, we're playing basketball in the gym class. And, I always had this like chip on my shoulder about like everybody who had already, maybe been a little bit more successful for me, already seen that success. So we're in gym class and the four out of the 5 starters on varsity are playing in gym class, and it's me and my homies from the rec center playing. And I took it. I was like, I'm gonna go at you guys very hard. Like I'm coming at you. We won the game. I put up buckets. I think I don't know, played to 11. I probably scored eight buckets, and leaving the gym, and the head coach of the basketball team, Dick Knar at Mundelein back then, stops me in the hallway and he's like, "Hey, how come you've never come out for the team? Like, who are you? And like, why haven't you been through this basketball program at this school yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love playing it, but I just never really fully committed to it." And he was like, "I need you to come out on the team. Like, you got to play. Like, we need another big dude who's just going to get after it and set screens and rebound and do all the dirty work." And I actually remember I was like, "Hey man, like I don't have all the money to go to all these camps, like humble beginnings, like I said." And I remember he was like, "Don't worry about that. We need you.
We got you. Yeah,
you'll go to the camps." And so that's what kind of started my basketball. I just took a leap of faith and jumped in to the team. And there was an article written about me in the Mundelein Review after I think I had like a 20-20 game over the summer. It was called Diamond in the Rough. We found this guy who never played, who just stepped right in and was a team player. And I was 6th man of the year on my senior year. Came off the bench, but like played just as many minutes as the starters. And it was just a really cool story. And Actually had, a few offers to play D3 basketball after high school. So it's just really cool, like jumping in and going for it and taking the leap of faith and being good because you're committed.
You're like a coach's dream, man. You're 6'5", you love the game, you're willing to do the dirty work. I mean, that is what every coach, wants. And so it's pretty exciting that you got that experience. I think it's hilarious the way that we're set up here on this podcast, because I'm 5'8" and you're 6'5", but the way our cameras are set, I feel like the bigger man in this.
Man, I gotta make sure I show the stature a little bit.
That's right. There you go. See, now exactly. Now we're back to what's actually going on, because I'm a pretty short guy myself, but so basketball, sports, man, teach you so much. And then you also, man, you're a hardworking dude. You put yourself through college. You went to DeVry University. What was that experience like, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I think just, again, going back to, humble beginnings, I recognized early in high school that like I didn't have as much as other people. And it kind of pissed me off that that we just didn't have as, I didn't like not having as much as my friends or whatnot. And when I say not having as much, just the resources, like I always felt like, maybe we just didn't have enough we had just enough to get by. And so like, I realized I had to change something. Right. So that was partially why I didn't fully play 4 years of sports in high school, because I started working. But what I realized quickly was like, man, I'm kind of good at this working thing. Like, I can juggle a lot. I can juggle a large workload. And so throughout high school, I worked, I played sports, started taking care of myself, realized that like, I can grow up much faster. And that was partially like the valet job, right? Like starting to like tap into other resources of where you can get the answers that you're looking for. And so the valet job really allowed me to take care of myself and put myself through college. While all my friends were off having the 4-year fun, I was in the valet hut working 50 hours a week while studying at DeVry, and paying my way through college. And like, those kind of things like stick with you, because like you keep cashing in that like, I can do this. It's okay that I didn't have it, but like that belief that if I commit to doing it will result in what I want. And so like that's been pivotal on my journey to all the way through Molo today.
Yeah, those jobs in high school and college can really be valuable and teach you how to be responsible, how to organize your time, and also just to appreciate it. I mean, I remember, I worked through college as well. I played sports, but I wasn't on scholarship. So I had to have jobs on campus and other things that I did to help pay the bills. And you just appreciate it more. You start to realize I did this. I built this. I created this. I paid this for myself. Those things matter, as you build your confidence up, as you think about, moving into your career, in that regard. And so, as you think about, what you did at Molo, we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but I want to transition, because now I want to jump to the present day for a moment. You're making a splash on social media. You're starting to put yourself out there a little bit, thinking about, starting a new venture. Talk about the power of personal branding and, what you've seen already. I mean, you just got started recently doing that and you're already making a splash.
Yeah, I think the reality of the world today is like your audience and your reach is paramount to your success. People need to know who you are, know your story, get connected with you, why they should be connected with you, what they can learn from you. And so seeing, social media is nuts. Like you look at Instagram, everybody's talking about something now. I'm not trying to be an Instagram, guru or anything like that, but I'm just trying to tell my story in hopes to inspire other people who maybe are in the position that I was previously or hope to attain that level of success. But really just putting my story out there and wanting to connect with other people that are hustling, grinding, wanting to do something great with their life. Like the power of who you're connected with helps you move forward in life for sure.
Yeah. And, with AI really kind of infiltrating social media, I think that authentic content, like what you're doing, is a way to stand out. It's really a way to catch somebody's attention, because you're telling a story about yourself. It may not be a polished story, and that's okay. Like it's your story, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think people really resonate with that. And so, kudos to you for doing that. I think it's going to pay dividends, especially as you think through your next venture, which I know you're thinking about. But I love seeing your content out there. So keep putting it out there, man. Just keep telling your story, keep connecting, because I think it's going to make a big difference for you as you move into the next phase of your career.
Authenticity, I would say, and vulnerability are two attributes that are underrated in your success. I think there's a lot of fluff out there. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of people copying what someone else did. Like, and you got to be yourself. Like, I learned that, and we'll talk about it throughout Molo, but I had times where I tried mimicking others and what they did, and like I would botch it, and I realized quickly, like, just be Stephan, be Jumbo. Like, Jumbo's my nickname. I'll explain that later. But
I love it. I mean, it makes sense. You're 6'5". It makes sense.
Just be yourself, and like, people like truth and honesty and real.
Yeah. I think you have to just you have to remind yourself that, you're running your own race. Your race is unique. It's not someone else's race. And so don't try to copy somebody else. You can learn from people, maybe some skills or some tactics, but you have to be true to yourself. So I love that. All right, we're going to take a quick break, Stephan. We'll come right back. We got to have a few announcements. It is trade show season, everybody. And so we got a couple of events coming up that I want you to know about. We got the Broker Carrier Summit. That's going to be coming up April 22 through 24. That's going to be in Kansas City. If you're a broker or a carrier, make sure that you join us for that. You won't want to miss that. It's going to be a great time for conversations, finding new partners, legit partners, people who really get it. Plus, we're going to have a really fun golf tournament. So to learn more about that, go to brokercarriersummit.com. Again, brokercarriersummit.com. Get registered today. Early bird pricing is ended, but you can still get some discounts with some of the sponsors that we have out there. And so make sure that you take advantage of that. Also, don't forget to sign up for TMSA's Elevate Conference. That is one of the best conferences for sales and marketing professionals. That's going to be June 8th through 11 in New Orleans. It's going to be a great time down there, having a good time I believe it's in the French Quarter District. So it's going to be an awesome time, a good time to network with other sales and marketing professionals, talk about what's working and what's not. And of course, the sales and marketing people are the fun people. So it's an incredible conference. You're going to have a really good time with that. So make sure you join us for that. Be sure to sign up. Go to events.tmsatoday.org. All right, Stephan, time to jump back in here real quick. So let's talk a little bit about your personal philosophy in life and how that's helped you through Coyote, through Molo. You often say that you're only one decision away from a totally different life. Where did that saying come into your life, and how does that impact what you do?
I think that, the struggle of kind of going through the fire or betting on yourself and proving to yourself that you can do anything. After a while, that kind of starts to become your mantra of like who you are. I didn't really have a backbone or anything to fall back on, right? Like my parents had humble beginnings. My dad was a mailman. My mom was a homemaker, held several jobs. So like that, to me, I recognize like it's me against the world and me against me every day. And like having that mentality, I always felt like, if I moved this far forward, okay, I'm not going backwards. I'm only going to go more forward. Like, I'm going to keep taking steps to move my life forward, my career forward, my thinking, whatever, books that I read or the rooms that I'm in, the people I surround myself with. I'm always taking listening what's around me and taking note of like, is this the life that I want? Are these the people that I want to be around? Is that the success that I want to have? And like that awareness level is paramount, because then you can like quickly shift. Like, I'm going down. That's I don't want that life. I don't want to be that, whether it's that person or be that type of father or husband or whatever it is. Like, you can shift to like doing something different. But I think you need to have that awareness level.
Yeah. And it often starts with just one decision. I remember thinking about that with things that I'm passionate about. I love real estate, but I didn't want to, be showing houses on a Sunday afternoon. I just didn't want that life. So I had to make that decision that even though I loved it, wasn't going to afford me the life that I wanted. And again, those decisions, they change the course or direction of your life. I'm talking to my daughter about that right now because she's about to go to college. She's going to probably at some point find a spouse in the next 10 years. I said, these decisions are going to impact what kind of life that you have, and not to put too much pressure on it, but they're important. Those decisions alter, what happens with your life, and what do you really want? What do you want life to look like when you're 40, 50 years old? As best as you can, try to start walking down that path. So I love that philosophy and how that's helped shape your life. You took the job at Coyote. You were there for about 6 years or so. you probably learned a lot in that environment. And then you guys made the crazy decision that you're going to start a company that's going to go to $1 billion. Talk about that experience of what you learned at Coyote and that transition to starting Molo.
Yeah, so actually how I found Coyote is a funny story. I was in Wrigleyville, around Wrigley Field, fun atmosphere. I was at a bar, and I met a sales rep who was doing really well in brokerage sales. And he was like, "Hey, you seem like a personable guy. You should check this out." And I think I was in my first entry-level job out of college, working as a commercial recruiter. I'm making, I don't know, 28 grand a year. And he was like, "I'm going to refer you." And he did. And I took the interview. I remember going into the interview being like, I called my shot. I told the recruiter, I was like, "If you hire me, I'm going to be the hardest working employee you've ever had. And if you don't hire me, I have 2 other interviews, one at Echo Global and one, I forget the name. There was another company, but and I got a job offer within 2 weeks and then hit the ground running." But Coyote was, like back then, like they were the brokerage that set the pace, that really had the environment, the place to be. They were the fun atmosphere. Everybody wanted to work there. So it was really cool to be in those walls and seeing that type of energy and flow. But what I realized there quickly, the valet experience transferred over into talking to drivers, being able to be personable and take care of them and earn their trust and like stick your neck out for them. That skill set and being able to build relationships with drivers led me to be a top refrigerated carrier sales rep at Coyote very quickly. And yeah, I think just you learn so much about the drivers and how freight moves, being exposed to that at an early stage. And I think I made a post about it the other day about being an entry level at a company like that. It's like really about learning. You're exposing yourself to as much information as possible, so you can have an encyclopedia as you go throughout your career. And so, yeah, Coyote, I spent 6 years doing carrier sales there, and then took a leap when they were about to get acquired by UPS, or the acquisition had already happened. For me, I saw the writing on the walls a little bit. I felt like, big company coming in might change the culture a little bit. Let me jump and bet on myself. And so I left to bet on myself. I went to a really small company that I don't even know if they're in business anymore, but jumping and taking the leap, leaving Coyote, was how I found Molo. And so that is a big part of my journey as well, is like taking a chance. And like by doing that, doors open up. And so Molo was not my idea, but because I was a free agent and I was available, I became one of the people that was asked to be a part of the journey. I'll never take full credit for Molo. This is my thing. It wasn't my idea. I was someone who had put the work in at Coyote and built a reputation of being a really good worker and taking care of drivers and showing up and delivering. And by doing that, I was invited on this journey to be one of Molo's co-founders and be employee number 3.
That's huge, man. That's an incredible story, dude. I love hearing just how that works out, because I always tell people sometimes you walk the path not knowing what you're going to find on that path, and making that decision to leave Coyote puts you on a new path that then led you to Molo, and those types of things happen. And, people don't think about that when they maybe are too afraid to take a risk or to make a leap. They don't know what they're actually missing. That what they're missing might be something a year down the road or 6 months down the road that's an even better opportunity, but they'll never find that because they don't make the leap. And so I love hearing that story about your just willingness to bet on yourself and to take a little bit of a risk and truly have that kind of whatever it takes, mentality. And I think that probably has affected your leadership style a little bit. I mean, at Molo, you guys had to do pretty much whatever it took. I mean, you knew a little bit about brokerage, of course, but you didn't know everything.
No, we didn't know everything. Whatever it takes is a mantra that I live by too. It's like, you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. And then by doing that, like, you have to show up and do it. Another phrase, figure it out, right? Like, if you can get that figure it out down, it becomes like a dangerous attribute for you, because in any scenario, then you're like, you're going to figure it out. It's just a matter of time. And
Right.
so, yeah, jumping into Molo, give a little background there. We started 2017 July. Andrew Silver eventually became our CEO, but for the first year, it was Matt Vogrich, one of his high school best friends, and myself and Will Jenkins. The three of us got it off the ground, and we built a small office above a bar downtown Chicago. I'm talking like this was, straight out of a movie of a startup with, someone buy the Wi-Fi, someone go to Costco and get the materials, somebody order desks, somebody get the, notepad and pen, and like who's doing the phones. Like we all wore several hats. I think the first probably 6-8 months of that was, everybody has to show up and do everything. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to grind and put in the work. And so that was like the start.
Yeah, there's really no other way to get it done. I mean, everybody just has to do whatever it takes and get off the ground. But then at some point it transitions. I mean, you guys you grew pretty rapidly. You got eventually got it to $1 billion as you guys had envisioned to do. And at some point you had to make the transition from being a doer to being more of a leader and coach, as opposed to doing all the things. What was that transition like for you? Because I know it's a difficult one. How was that for you to step out of the doing portion and into more strategy and leadership?
Yeah. And so it wasn't a perfect path for me. I'll say that because I initially was brought into Molo with my carrier sales acumen, right? And I actually hit a fork in the road and had to pivot very early on. We didn't have anybody that was doing sales full time when we were in our first year. And I had come into Molo with, I think, 1, maybe 2 customers that I had talked to previously, but never done any sort of customer sales facing at all. Will Jenkins, one of my best friends, I'll never forget it. We were outside of his apartment. I was sitting in his car. He's like, dude, you are going to be a really good salesman, and you just have to believe it. I'd never done it. I'd never been in a meeting before, but Molo needed someone to go and do sales. And so I jumped on that bandwagon early. I made a ton of mistakes, but kept showing up and figuring out problems. And really, for me, my leadership came from an individual contributor perspective, right? Like when you're a co-founder of a company, there's higher expectations that are placed upon you. You have to lead by example always. Someone's always staring at you. What are you doing? How are you holding yourself? Are you upholding the company's values and ethics and how we take care of drivers, how we speak to each other? So I had to wear that like a badge of honor throughout the entire time at Molo, and really leading by example from a place of landing customers, taking care of them, and driving profitability for us to grow. That was like a big part of what my role was throughout the entire time of Molo. I didn't know that this was going to be bestowed upon me, right? I didn't have that experience. But my path took me down customer sales, and I'm very thankful because I found my groove. I found my niche. So, yeah.
All right. So I have to ask you about this. So you started out, you made a ton of mistakes in sales, but as you look back on, your career, and obviously you did very well in regards to sales at Molo, what was it that you felt really helped you stand out in sales that helped you be so successful?
I think trial and error, right? I talked about it before, having the awareness of like figuring out what works and doesn't work. I'm kind of cerebral in that perspective. I'm always thinking like, what is the other person thinking? What is my customer thinking? How's that email going to hit their inbox? How's that call going to go? How I hold myself, how I say things. And, eventually I got to a point where like, I got confident that I could do it. You land your first customer, they start saying like, you guys are doing a great job. Like now I'm like, okay, well, if they like me, then this one would. So let me go after this one. Let me go after this one. And before you know it, like you start getting in this rhythm of like, I can do this. And then once you get that, like, I can do this, you just all gas, no brakes, go after it. By the end, this is the truest statement I could tell you. By the end, $152 million in revenue, 96% of that was landed by me. I think my record loads per day was 381 truckloads in a day. I think I did 57,000 truckloads one year with the help of my team. But a lot of that has to come with like how you treat people inside of the company matters so much to your success. I saw some sales reps like struggle, and they're always wondering why, like, how come like you make it look easy, or how come, what's your secret sauce? And I'd always just tell them, like, you got to treat people the way you want to be treated. People will bend over backwards for you if you are uplifting them and making them feel good, like giving them credit for the work that they're doing. And so that was a big part of it, like being a team player, a leader inside of Molo, and whether it was on the carrier side, talking to them, giving them mentorship, or on the customer side, talking to other sales reps, talking to my ops team, like lighting them on fire that we're going to take care of these customers better than anybody, and like believe in a mission of where we're going. You start getting everybody like on board with that. Then all it is you land the customer, you set the vision, and then you let the rest happen, because it's like rinse and repeat. It's the same process over and over and over and over and over again. But the reality is, by the end, it's not about you. It was never about me. I mean, sales is a one-on-one job. You have to land the customer. You have to be the person that they believe in and they trust, right? But then after that, it's about motivating your team to rise up in their positions and take care of the customer. And I remember at the end, I would always tell my team, like, guys, like, I landed it, I'm the sales rep, but like, this is your customer, and they will give us as much business as we want to do with them based on how hard you're willing to work and take care of them every day. And I'm back here. I'm getting out of the way. Like, call me if you need me. And I would say that to the customer too. Like, my team they're the ones that do 99% of this. And I'm the one you call if like they're not doing something right. And once I figured that out, it just changed. It's completely changed. Get out of the weeds and let your people build their careers.
Man, there's so much gold in what you just said. I don't even know how to break it all down. But the main theme that I'm hearing is a theme of empathy and self-awareness, to put yourself in the shoes of your customer, to put yourself in the shoes of your team, and what they need and how they're going to receive it. I think a lot of times in leadership, we don't think about that too much. We don't think about how important empathy is. I know Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it a lot, and other people do. I hope it becomes more a part of leadership, because I think it's incredibly valuable. In order to help people out, to get the most out of them, you have to give them the most of you. I think that's a really important thing to consider. So I love that, man. Just a lot of gold there from sales and leadership, man.
I just want to say one other thing too. Like, as an individual contributor, leadership isn't bestowed upon you, right? Like, there isn't like a manager title that says, hey, your job is to lead these people and make them do these metrics, right? You lead from the front because like your job is to sell and close business. That is leadership, doing your job really well. And by doing that, you fill the desks. We get to hire more people. People get to build their careers. The company grows. And so, like, in theory, by you just committing to doing your job very well, you become a leader, because people want to follow people who have success and keep putting themselves in positions where they have to grow. And like, sales was scary for me. I was fearful of it in the beginning, but by the end, I was like, it's not as bad as it seems. Like, it's actually like, I can do this thing. And I think being employee number 2 or 3, me and Will argue about it all the time, but like, I had this like company, the respect for what we had already built in the brand that I had when I was representing myself to customers. And so I always was cognizant of like the Molo brand. Always, when I'm talking to customers, we got to do things the right way. They're taking a perception of us. I never know who this guy knows. If I rub him the wrong way or if I'm having a bad day or something, that's one call from him to another shipper that could say, man, those guys stink over there, or he's kind of a whatever. And so you have to hold yourself to a higher standard always. But I think that you don't need to be the employee, the early stage employee or a founder to have that type of like respect for your company. If you can like garner that and wear and be prideful about doing your job really well, people feel that energy. Like they can
100%.
feel that.
100%. And you guys did a great job of building the Molo brand. And, another word for brand is reputation. And that's what you're talking about. Every interaction that you had with a customer could potentially build your brand or tear your brand down a little bit, and I think it's important to keep that top of mind in all these interactions that you're having. But I'm very excited for your success, man. It's been fun just to hear about your story. We have to pause for a minute and play a game. We like to have a little fun on the show, do something a little bit different around here. So, Stephan, it's time for our game today. And today's game is Finish the Lyrics.
Oh, boy.
All right, Stephan, listen, this is going to be launching in February. And of course, February is the love month. So we're doing the love songs edition today, and we're a team. You and I are going to be working together on this. So we're going to be putting up, playing a song, and then we have to finish the lyrics of that song whenever it stops. All right. So I don't know how good you are on love songs. I'm okay. We'll see how we do today. Let's have a little fun. Here we go. The first song, let's hear it. Here's what it is. So, but then I go and spoil it all by saying blank, blank, like blank, blank, blank. Are we not hearing the songs today? I don't think we're hearing the songs today. We just have to figure this out.
That's not fair. Okay.
I know this is tough. This is tough. Okay. All right. Let's make this happen. By saying, blank, blank, oh man, blank. What song is this? Do you know what song this is?
I feel like it's got to be like an alternative rock something.
Love song though? Man, what kind of love song is that? Okay, this is going to be our practice session. Oh, it's jazzy. It's like a jazzy classic. We get a hint today. It's jazzy classic. But then I go and spoil it all by saying, okay, this is Al
Green or something, or like
this is going to be our practice round. Let's see what it is. Let's see what the answer is. This is our practice round. So, by Frank Sinatra, Something Stupid. Okay. Then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that one. This might be a tough game, man. All right, let's see how we do. Let's see. Okay, is this from Hamilton? Where this isn't a love song, but Jefferson says, I couldn't if I tried, and I tried. Like Alexander Hamilton's, his financial system is a work of genius. I couldn't undo it if I tried, and I tried. What in the world? I'm on the wrong track here. That's the wrong track. No, it's the answer. Like, I couldn't if I tried.
Baffled. I'm baffled.
Yeah, totally baffled. Okay, we're going to be 0 for 2. What's the answer? 0 for 2. Here we go. Don't go breaking my heart. I couldn't. Don't go breaking my heart. Okay. All right. Okay. We need some more popular love songs. Let's see if number 3 helps us out a little bit. Here we go. Number 3 is wise blank blank only blank 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 but blank 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 falling. Oh, wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, man, we're doing the vintage love songs here.
These are, man. Okay, well, we're on the board, though. That's Elvis Presley. That's Can't Help Falling in Love.
1 for 3.
All right, 1 for 3. We got it. Okay, I'm feeling good about this now, Stephan. I'm feeling good. Here we go. Next one. Before I put on my makeup, something and wake up. I put on some coffee and wake up. I drink some coffee and
I think you're onto it. I know what song that the beat is.
Yeah.
Where I put on my makeup.
Yep. I do something and try to wake up. Oh gosh, come on. We're so close. Oh gosh, I can't remember the words, but wake up is the last 2. I know wake up's the last 2. It's gotta be. All right. Give us partial credit. What do we got on this? What do we got? Here we go. Let's see. Man, this is brutal. If you're in the comments watching this, let us know what you think. All right. I was feeling it when you said before I put on my. Maybe the wake up is before that. In the morning when I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. That's it. So I had it back. Okay. We were close. We had the right song. I'm going to go half credit. We're at 1.5. We're going 1.5 on that. All right. Partial credit here today. When a man loves a woman. Let's go. Come on. This is easy. Stop teasing us. Stop. Okay. All right. Next one. Final round. All right. Here we go. Final round. I could hold you for 1,000,000 years. I don't know what song this is. I could hold you for a million years. Oh, we're gonna get blitzed on our last one. We both have that
I'm
look
just
on our
reading
face.
this right now and like saying like you stink.
Yeah, Natalia's having fun. Oh, think Adele. Oh, Adele and Garth Brooks. Okay, so this has to be. Oh, I could hold you for a million years. To make you feel my love. To make you feel my love. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. To make you feel my love. Thank you for the hint. Appreciate that. All right, Stephan. So thanks for being a trooper and playing along on this edition of Finish the Lyrics. Love function. And we should say happy Valentine's Day to everybody that's out there whenever it's coming up. All right. Also, we like to do a little random question of the day, just to have fun with that. So let's do a random question of the day. What is our random question of the day? It is, who would you pay the most money to see in concert? Oh, are you a concert goer?
I am. I wouldn't say I go to a lot, but I do occasionally. Yeah. But like, I would have to go back to, the 80s and 70s, and it would be Barry White. Barry White's my favorite artist. The guy is just, his lyrics, his love,
that
you
low
could
voice.
feel it, the sweat, the voice. He just was like all love and like put on a performance. Listen to his music. It just lights you up.
Yeah.
Makes you feel really good. So Barry White.
That's a good choice. That's a really good choice, man. That's awesome. I don't know who I would say to this. I've got a lot. I like a lot of different genres. I mean, I would definitely, I definitely pay a lot of money to see, like, I'm a big Tim McGraw fan. I think him in concert, Kenny Chesney, those guys in concert, they're really, really good. Man, going back into the old day, like I'd probably pay a lot of money to see like Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen those guys back in their heyday. That'd have been pretty sick back in the day. But Barry White, I didn't know that, man. So now I know a little something about you. That's good to know. That's good. All right. So what can you got a little soul, I can tell. So what can you tell us a little bit about your next new venture? What are you thinking about doing? Are you not sure yet? Are you talking to founders? What are you doing?
At the moment, I'm a blank slate. My mind is racing with ideas and things that I want to do. But I think building Molo from the ground up makes you realize like there are needs in the world, and like the industry has a lot of holes. I think I'll stay in the space. I have some ideas and connecting with people, but it probably won't be moving freight logistics wise, but maybe something on just an impact on the industry. But right now it's really just sharing my story and helping people as much as I can, helping former, colleagues or people thinking about the logistics space. And when I say former, I really think about like you're most qualified to help your former self is a quote that I've heard frequently said. And I think about that. I'm like, man, what would I tell my 22-year-old self when I was starting logistics from scratch? Like I would probably, I could lead and help people significantly with their careers with everything that I know. So that's where I'm at today. But yeah, I'm really looking at where I can make an impact and bring value.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, I could definitely see you as a consulting, like coaching people, but I could also see you maybe building some SaaS. And I love the fact that we're seeing a lot of operators, freight brokers who come out of that, who then build SaaS because they know, like they've been in those seats and they know. So whatever you do, man, we're very excited to see what it is. Again, thanks so much for coming on the show. How can people get connected with you, especially, and maybe they have an idea I want to share with you?
Yeah, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. My website's on there, sm@stephanmathis.com. It's really just a landing page, talks a little bit about my background and what I'm inspired by, who I want to connect with. There's a Calendly link on there. Feel free to shoot me an invite. I'm happy to chop it up for 20 minutes. I love learning other people's stories and making an impact. So that's the best way to connect with me. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what the future holds. I think taking the leap of faith and jumping, right? Like that's what I said previously, but like I jumped. And now I'm like, what doors will open up by being a free agent is the way I think about it. So
that's right. And it's a lot easier to jump the second or third time than it is the first time. That's for sure. But excited for you, man, and what you're going to build. Just honored to know you and get to know you, man. So thank you for being on the show. Thank you for taking the time today. Really appreciate that. And again, thanks for giving us some killer walk-up. Let's go back. Once you figure out what you're going to do, tell us how. All right. All right, everybody, make sure you come back every Tuesday for an episode of Standing Out. Excited to have more great guests on the show. And don't forget to check us out. We're streaming on YouTube. So subscribe to our channel, the Beta Podcast Network, where you can find all of our content, including The Edge, showcasing the latest in logistics technology. All the playlists are on there, so make sure you subscribe. And again, thanks to our sponsor, SPI Logistics, for making this possible. Check them out at success.spi3pl.com. Until next time, we'll see you guys real soon. Remember, stop standing still, start standing up.